It's Jane again, it's June again, and would you just take a look at my curly kale? Okay, well, as I'm sure you've suspected, there's a secret behind this curly kale, and Mike will fill you in on that in a bit. But meanwhile, oh, we've got some death and destruction going on today. I'm going to show you what's happened in my 4 sisters stroke 3 sisters stroke now 2 sisters, maybe going down to 1 sister plot. Something's been eating my turnips, so we're going to go into that. But on the plus side, I'm going to show you a nice quick and easy method to increase your tomato stock, just in case you haven't got enough tomato plants as it is. Hello and goodbye. Oh, I've just sneezed. This never happens to me, but I think my back's gone. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a big sneeze, but it was a sneeze, and something's certainly gone. So I'm not going to be darting around the greenhouse. Crikey, is this what men go through? Is this why they're always complaining about their backs? It's quite sore. Right, so never mind, this show must go on. Anyway, what I want to do is, while I'm looking at everything else dying outside, I thought it'd be quite nice to start with some new life on the inside. So I've come back indoors where it's safe with my tomatoes and my grapes, which I don't know if you've got on there. I don't think they've picked up, but yeah, you're surrounded by them. I've got a lovely view. And something I mentioned on my last video, and then Paul Savadon picked up on it, and that was actually trying to pot up one of my side shoots off the tomatoes. Now, when I was pruning them all and cutting everything back last week, I found a huge side shoot, and I put it in the soil along here. I'm sorry, I can't keep getting up and down and showing you. I put it in the soil down here. Needless to say, nothing came of it. I didn't water it, I didn't do anything to it. Basically, I didn't look after it, and I got what I deserved. But undeterred, I'm going to try again today. The thing is, I've been taking the side shoots out quite methodically, so I'm going to try. I've got on this plant here, can you see? Oh dear, this is silly, isn't it? Right, that is the shoot. I hope you can see this. That is the actual main shoot of the plant. But at the moment, it looks like it's forked because this side shoot has come out like that. Now, that is a huge side shoot. It's so big, it's got a side shoot of its own, and it is actually a side shoot. It's coming out of the axil, the joint of the main stem and the leaf stem. So, guess what? Taking it out. Does feel a bit mean, you know. I am going to take off this lower shoot here and the little side shoot it's growing itself. And then I'm popping it in a bit of water. I've got my compost, which I haven't watered beforehand because I couldn't reach the watering can. But I'm going to dip a hole in it with one of these things. Now, this is just a general rooting powder called Strike. There are various other rooting powders available. I don't usually use it, to be honest, but I really want to see if this works. So I'm going to dip a hole, which probably won't stay still because the compost isn't damp. It's all gardening with Jane, isn't it? And then, literally now, the stem of the tomato is dripping there. It's just been in water. Poking that in the hormone rooting powder. Tapping off the excess. Now, as we all know, and if you don't know, you will do now, your tiny grape there, the stem of your tomato is more than willing to put out shoots. So all these little hairs, I don't know if it's the hairs that become shoots, sorry, not shoots, roots, but that's why as your tomatoes grow, very often it's good to sort of earth them up, almost like potatoes, but you're earthing them up so that you're going to get more roots out the stem to get a stronger plant. But what I'm doing with that, when I reached out for the pot, I'm not in agony. There's people far worse off. I'm going to dip it in the soil. I've put it in quite deep, maybe about 2 inches. So it's going to be nice and firm. And then I'm going to put it here actually. Water it. And it's about 80 odd degrees in here today. It's so warm. It seemed really dull when I got here. I had jumpers on and everything, but actually the sun is starting to come out now, but it's really warm. Yeah, and that's it. Now, the reason I was so encouraged to have another go was Paul said the side shoot that he grew on last year gave them the most tomatoes of all their plants. So he said it grew into a really, really strong plant. So yeah, it's worth a shot, because to be honest, that would just go now. Got another one here, look. It might be too big. I don't know. Paul, if you're watching, how big was yours when you took yours off? Got another one here. I'm just pulling another one off. That's a smaller one. I'm actually just going to do the same again. I'm not getting a different pot. I can't get up. I can't get up. Right, I'm laughing now. I'll be crying in a minute when I turn the camera off. Right, okay, I'm putting that in there. And let's see if there's any other big ones. I think I've pretty much been keeping on top of the side shoot. Oh, is that a side? Oh, my wordy, well. Excuse me, Mr. Sungold. We've got the king of the side shoots here. Oh dear. Let's just pull that round there. I've got these going around strings on this side, but I've got nothing to hang strings by on that side. This has got strings going along, so I twist them around. These have got sticks in. But look at this one. Oh, that snaps nice, isn't it? Look at that side shoot. I mean, it is a shame when it's put so much strength and so much time and energy growing that, for us to just take it off and throw it. So yeah, let's have another go. Again, I'm going to take, seems really cruel, I'm going to take all the big leaves off. I'm going to dip it in the water, and now I've watered that compost now. Again, I should really go and get another pot, but I can't move. I just can't move. It's very annoying. There we are. Pop that in there, another 2 inches. And if you never see them again, it hasn't worked. But yeah, I'm quite excited about that. I mean, they are growing things. They will probably wilt inevitably because I've just detached them from the mothership. But I'll show you now. They're in compost. They've got water. They're sturdy things. I won't remember which variety is which, but does it matter? I've got 3 new plants, or I've got the possibility of 3 new plants there. And all just for, what, 5 minutes? So we'll see how they get on. Wish me luck. Wish me luck getting up. Oh dear. Oh. Mike, yes, it looked like you're holding a rather large kale. What's your secret?
Well, my secret, Jane, with these rather large kale is to go to the Gardener's World show at the NEC.
Yeah.
And then wander around for a little bit, having coffee and so on, till about 4:30.
Yeah.
And then when they're getting rid of all the stuff from the show gardens and from the little vegetable gardens, turn up and ask if I can have some kale.
And how much was it?
This kale was completely free. And that's the best part of it. Giant and free.
Go on, show us your kale, mister.
Okay.
So it's interesting to see how they planted it, because obviously the show gardens, they're not going to be, you know, putting things in and growing them on from seed for months at a time. They have to have instant effect. So that works out brilliantly for us, because literally they just dug it up with the root bulb, didn't they, Mike?
We did.
The root ball. So have you got the root ball there?
That is the root ball right here.
So it's just, yeah, just right in the way of Rocky's head. But yeah, so what are you going to do with it now?
Got little bit of soil from the allotment with a tiny bit of manure dug into that from where we dug up the potatoes.
Yeah.
So I'm just building up a little bit of a base for the giant new kale, the cheaty kale.
The cheaty kale,
Which I think
yeah.
is a Russian red kale.
Oh, you're making that up.
It's a giant Russian red kale.
It's very grand.
And it goes in here just like this.
Yeah.
Into a pot. And
Yeah.
it was kind of grown in a pot, as you can see.
Yeah.
As you just mentioned. So I don't think we're doing it any harm in that way.
No, no.
And then I'm going to fill up around the giant kale with some garden soil, some nice firm garden soil with a little bit of manure.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to water it in and leave it.
Fantastic. So why are you doing it in pots and not in open ground?
Well, I'm doing it in pots because partly it's been grown in pots, so I think it'll be used to that anyway. Also partly because the gardener who was digging them up told me to put them in pots.
Oh, right,
That
okay.
was a good idea. And thirdly, we've got hardly any space for these giant kale.
I know, it's unbelievable, isn't it, really? Although the one that you're potting up now, I mean, this is about 8 o'clock in the evening, so the colours aren't great. But it's a beautiful ornamental kale. I mean, if you look at the purple on that, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous purple and green. So, yeah, so it's a case of putting them in pots. Sorry, Rocky, what was that? Are you not interested? He's not interested in kale at all. And then you're staking them, yeah?
I am. And then the best thing about this is,
Yep.
is that we have some allotment neighbours. And what we can do is when we see them at the weekend, we can say, how is your Cavallonero coming on?
Yeah. Oh, just come on.
Something like, we just put those in pots and it's just taken off. Been really, really good.
So not only are we terrible cheats, but we'd be terrible lying cheats as well. That's the way forward. The cookers are on the way. Oh, you'll never guess where I'm sitting here. This is the sweet corn patch. I know. Where's the sweet corn, you might ask? Well, let's have a look, shall we? This is where I put a marker. So on that side, no, can't see it. I haven't got my trowel with me. Using the marker. Basically, I'd say it's not there. Maybe that's a fluke. Let's look at the next one along. Hello. Do you have any sweet corn there? No. 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 Wishful thinking. I mean, it's got plenty of weeds, so obviously it's been getting watered. But yeah, look at that. Every little marker that you can see there, all these little tombstones. When I said they were tombstones to begin with, I didn't mean I was actually, you know, burying the sweet corn never to see it again. I did think that we'd get something, but no, it's not happened. So, I mean, I've looked in the local garden centre and the only sweet corn I've seen is 99 pence literally for one sweet corn plant. And they only had 3 left and they all looked a bit ropey. And I suddenly thought, that is going to be prohibitive to spend £12 or £16 to replace these. So I've made the decision to give up. I know, it's not a phrase I like to use, especially in gardening, but yeah, I think it just gets to the stage. It's too late to plant them direct again now. I can't get any off anybody. I can't get any of the garden centres. They've all gone. So, yeah, I'm going to have to think of something else to put in the sweet corn patch. Now, let this be a lesson to all of us who think that the rain we've had is enough to water all of our plants. If they're in pots, they are a lot more susceptible to drying out, and that's what's happened to this little lot. So I think they'll be okay, but I've put them in a bath of water here and I'm hoping they'll forgive me and start picking up again. But what I wanted to show you was, oh heavens, what I wanted to show you was, look at that, look, that's been in water and it's still dry. Oh dear. Where my sweet corn have, well, basically not come at all, I thought, I know, I've got all those spare sunflowers that I was going to throw out and I didn't think would come to anything. I thought I'll go and see if they're still okay. And of course, what are they like? Almost dead. So rather than give up completely, Look at them. The poor things, they've been completely neglected. They weren't for the compost heap, to be honest, because I had no room for these ones. But I am going to put them in where the sweet corn was, because otherwise I'm just going to have a big gap, because I was expecting that to be a nice lush green bit. So yeah, let's get them up there and take a look at the roots. Okay, I'm here now at the deathbed of the sweet corn. I've looked at these sort of flowers. I'd say their chances are 50-50, but that's 50% more than the sweet corn have got. So I'm going to have them in a block of 9, right in the centre of the squash. You know, I'm not even going to put stakes in for them yet. I'm going to see how it goes and see how they look after a few days, because I think they'll I think they'll pick up, don't you? Anyway, these are either black velvet, or there was another one. Was it red night, or am I getting mixed up with my garlic? I can't remember, but these are the ones that I thought were diseased because they had lots of dark patches on them, only to be told that that was because they're dark colour sunflowers. They have dark petals and it's just the natural pigmentation. So I've already thought they were gone as once, and like I say, I didn't have anywhere else to put them. So you could look at this as a lucky thing. I will just take the dead ones off. They've got half decent, I hope you can see me, I've got the sun right in my eyes, half decent roots on them, and so they're just going to go in. Like I say, I think the 3 I've sort of scooted across the middle there are the Titan, so I think they grow taller, but we'll just see, and it'll be nice. And you know, well, I mean, it's a bit of a unique selling point, isn't it, this? How many people, how many of the channels do you see actually planting dead plants? But there's not many. Right, I'll give it a deepish hole. I don't want the stem to rot, but at the same time, if I'm not staking it to begin with, I want to make sure it's as steady as it can be. Okay. There we are. This could be a godsend. You've got to be optimistic, haven't you? There's nothing you can do. Sometimes things happen and you just can't do anything about them, so it's no good getting too upset. It's just learning from the experience. And there you go, look at that. What's wrong with him? He's fine. On to the next one. Oh, my back. Oh, right, okay. I'm all right as long as I keep it at this particular angle. Again, you can see, because this area is actually, might not have done, I hope I'm not standing on the squash. Oh, heavens. Kill them as well. The area probably wasn't brilliant for the sweet corn because this is under the great big apple tree. And it's already having its first fall. Now, for the life of me at the moment, I can't remember. Is it called the cast? I don't know. Where it starts to get rid of lots of its excess fruit. So you can see here already, it's already had its first drop. Is it drop? Is it cast? But already there's lots of little apples falling onto the ground. And if you remember last year, oh, people were very upset because so many just fell and did just rot. We picked loads, we gave loads to friends, but with the size of the tree being what it is, you just can't keep up with all of them. And we just took it that they would rot down and benefit the soil. And if not the soil, the creatures around it. So, but yeah, you can see that actually later on in the season, this would have been a bit of a flattening ground for the sweet corn. They'd have just got absolutely flattened by the Granny Smiths. But there you go. So maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. Hopefully these will take. They're not going to win Nick's Allotment Diaries Sunflower Challenge. I don't think in any way at all. Actually, I don't know if you can see the ones. I can't. Oh, you can see the ones behind me. I've got 3 on each corner of this square here of the actual sunflowers I put in when they were supposed to go in. And they're about 2.5 foot high now. They're looking really healthy, so they're in with a chance. But yeah, these little blighters, they're just here for, for decoration only. Oh, you've got to take what you can, don't you? Right, I'll get on with this and show you when it's done. There we are. 9.5, because there was one spare. Looked very sorry for itself. I think it's that one. nearly dead sunflowers. If gardening's not about hope, what is? I'll keep you posted. Peas are looking good. And if I go over here, it's difficult to spot because it's green on green, but look at these. Woohoo! Oh, fatten little pea pods, fatten. Nothing better than a fresh pea from a fresh pea pod. Won't be long now. Well, that was a fun afternoon, full of death and calamity, so I hope you're not too put off by all my dead and dying plants. This is the time of the year where everything up until now, it's excitement and planning and this is going to happen, that's going to happen, and then sometimes the reality kicks in and it's not exactly how you planned it. So, you know, so what if I don't get decent turnips this year? Or sweet corn? Or much garlic? But something will do really well, and that's the thing, you know, you just think you've lost out on one thing and something else will go, so or make up for it. So yeah, it'd be good. What was I going to tell you? Let me have a think. Yeah, this video is coming out late. It's usually done on a Sunday, but we've had a mad, wonderful family weekend this weekend. It's been my mum and dad's 60th wedding anniversary. Happy anniversary, mum and dad. And my daughter's sort of informal family engagement party. Yeah, so it's been really, really lovely. But I must admit, by Sunday afternoon, I was itching to get down to the plot. But I wouldn't swap family time for anything, and I couldn't get down here, which is why I'm down here today. But yeah, that was lovely. But the other thing that's happened since I last saw you, and I think I talked about doing it, was yeah, we went to the Gardeners World show. Gardeners World live at Birmingham Big Exhibition Centre in Birmingham, the NEC, if you haven't heard of it. And yeah, the show, I have been before. I did think last time it was better. There seemed to be more stuff to see. I mean, the weather wasn't great, to be honest. It was heavy downpours all day, so you'd just get to the far end of the show gardens and the heavens would open. But what made it was meeting up with my fellow YouTubers. We had Nigel from Muddy Boots, we had one Nick from Nick's Allotment Diary and the other Nick from Nick's Allotment, and their partners. And you know, we sat in the cafe area there and we were talking for an hour, or maybe I was talking for an hour. Oh, we'll be back. But yeah, it was so nice, and as you can imagine, I could talk to them for ages because it's the first time we'd met, but you sort of feel like you've known each other for such a long time. Absolutely wonderfully lovely people, just as they are on the screen, you know, and even helped us carry all the things that we weren't really going to buy back to the car because we were weighed down with big plants and kale. I keep looking at the kale, big kale plants and hydrangeas and dahlias and all sorts. So yeah, so big thank you to them. I will put a link to all of their channels beneath, but it was just so nice. And again, it just proved to me that us gardeners are a nice lot. You know, it's really good. But yeah, so that was lovely. So thank you, Nigel, Nick and Nick. It's like a little boy band, isn't it? Nigel, Nick and Nick. For just being really good company. That was a great day. So yeah, I went there, got a few things that, got the kale, got a tree dahlia, I think it's a tree dahlia, from a show garden called the Watchmaker's Garden. If you haven't seen it at all, it's worth Googling. It's absolutely beautiful garden. It sort of had, it was like based on an old shed that a watchmaker would have had at the bottom of their garden where they did their watchmaking. So inside was all set up with the very basic old tools the watchmaker would have used. And on the way to it, there was like a few steps going up, and it was just planted with just cottage garden flowers, absolutely gorgeous. And then the other side, I came back out of the entrance because there were too many people, I couldn't go out the exit. I think there was like there's some sort of water feature there, but Google it, it was really beautiful. Anyway, I've got one of their tree dahlias for £10, which I thought was really good. And when I do get to show it you, I'm going to have a little go at trying to take cuttings from it, because I believe it's quite easy, but it's a beautiful thing. So I got that. Got a couple of hydrangeas that really were for presents, but I'm keeping one. I got the kale. Oh yeah, and I got, just as we were leaving actually, I came up on a herb stall and they were selling a herb that I hadn't come across, or rather a plant I hadn't come across before, called tree sorrel, which is a perennial. And so yeah, I've bought one of those. I wish I'd brought it down. It's quite pretty. It's got spear-shaped leaves, green, but they're pink on the tips, so it's really quite ornamental as well. So anything that's ornamental and perennial and you can eat, fantastic. It's a win-win. So that was good. What else to tell you? Rocky. Yes, Rocky's not here today because this is going to sound like we're terrible owners. Rocky's hurt his leg. He's currently got his front leg bandaged up, cost us a blooming fortune, because he saw me in the garden. So it is garden related, but he saw me from the bathroom window. And instead of going down from the bathroom window, along the hallway, along the landing, down the stairs, through the house and out the back door, Rocky decided to take a shortcut and actually just levered himself up. Actually, he did take a running jump along the landing, through the window, fortunately landed on the roof of the outhouse, which broke his fall, and then landed with an almighty thump in the garden. And so this is Alan again. He did this last time. So that was Alan, and that was another half an hour. So I was like, yeah, so Rocky, bless him, is at home being absolutely spoilt rotten. He's been told not to get it, well, we've been told not to get his paw wet. So in order to almost add insult to injury, we have to keep wrapping a little plastic bag around his foot when he goes out if it's wet, which it has been. And so he's just squelching along behind you, you know. So poor lad. So yeah, look at that. Isn't that typical? I've been down here all day and I'm about to pack up and go home and the sun's come out. It's brought all the colours out. It's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, these things here, just look at these now. These are my little Nicotiana. I think they're called Little Nicky. And they're gorgeous, and they just haven't gone in yet. I've got so many things to go in. Strawberries, I've been eating strawberries as the day goes on today. And yeah, I'm not quite at the stage where I'm taking a lovely truck full of vegetables home for my tea, but there's bits and bobs. I'm taking kohlrabi, and I'll be taking a few bits of kale. I'll be doing a bit of a stir fry. And yeah. We're getting there, we are getting there. Anyway, I am going to go. I am not going to forget this time. Come along and look at Instagram if you're on Instagram. That's like, that's basically a very condensed version of the garden because it just tends to be a photograph and a couple of words. I try not to do more than 2 words, so if you're fed up of me talking all the time, you can just look at the pictures. And of course Facebook, the Facebook group is growing, and you know, again, I always say it's just a lovely place, and we try and sort of keep up daily updates on there to sort of keep you in touch with what's going on at the plot. So, but hopefully I will get another video out next weekend, on time this time, and I believe we're going to have some really hot weather, so yeah, we'll be complaining about that next week instead of the rain. So with that, I'm going to let you go. Okay, see you all soon. Bye.